in the 1960s, watching those TV commercials with those diving kids in Africa who stared vacantly at the camera with sad eyes and distended bellies. And in secret, my clique club teacher, Mr. Collins, had a chance the words in the song we were singing. 3 billion people in the world, 2 4 billion people in the world, and I was shocked. I couldn't believe that the population was so big, and I was even more shocked because no one else in the class seemed as undisturbed by this fact. A couple days later, I told my friend Susie Hollander that because there seemed to be too many people in the world for it to handle, that I wasn't gonna have any kids. And she looked at me and she replied that she wanna have 3. And I felt really alone in my beliefs. And 37 years later, I still feel really alone in my beliefs, and I'm still shocked that normal people are disturbed by population growth. And I think it's because as a species, we decided not to talk about it, to kind of tuck it away. So I'm here to untuck it. Modern man's first show of almost 200,000 years ago, and by 1850, we had reproduced so successfully there were 1 billion people on the planet. That means it took 200,000 years for us to put the first billion people on Earth. The next billion came in 100 years. 200,000 years to get the first billion, 100 years to get the second billion. Now, we add 1 billion people to the planet every 2 years. And in 2011, the world population reached 7 billion people. Now, this surge in growth came about because of improvements in agriculture and medicine. Because as a species, we are biological success story. Survival of the fittest, we have survived. And we are also a religious success story. We have grown first and multiplied. But now we have to stop, or it will be our downfall. Just give you an idea of how fast population rose. Bangladesh had a hurricane that killed 139,000 people. How long did it take Bangladesh to replace those deaths with 139,000 new births? 2.5 weeks. Now the world population is growing at just 1% a year, which may not sound like very much, but 1% of 7 billion is actually a big number. It means that every day we add 220,000 people to the planet. Every day. And this is unsustainable. Which means that at some point in the world population is going to stop growing. The question is how? We stop growing because of famine, disease, a war, other resources. Or we stop growing because people choose to have smaller families. And by smaller families, I mean one-child families. This is where people starting get nervous talking about overpopulation and population issue because they're scared that I'm gonna take away their rights to have children. But I don't want to take people's rights away, I want to give people rights. Forcing people to have fewer children does not work. In fact, the fastest and most efficient way to stabilize the world population is to send girls to school and to empower women, and to give everyone access to an education on birth control, and those are good things. And as a culture, we need to emphasize the benefits of having one-child families so people will choose to have fewer kids. Because for thousands of years we've been inculcated with these athletes that big families are happy families and only children are lonely children. Both like myself and my husband and who have chosen not to have kids were childless instead of child-free. And myself, several times I have been accused of being selfish because of my decision not to have children. And all things make sense when it was important for us to procreate for our survival. But now, for our survival, we have not to procreate. when we have to change and rewire our biology and our culture to recognize benefits of a one-child family, because right now mostly what we see the negative. For example, when a country population falls, there's all this economic doom including the media, because capitalism is based on internal growth. Capitalism depends upon more and more consumers. So yeah, when population lowers, the economy will suffer. But it will suffer less. There are no more oil and food and water, because there are 10 billion people on the planet in 40 years, which the UN is rotating. Now, you may be thinking, okay, the population issue sells triple sums, but we should be having the babies. We're smart, we're educated, and we listen to the TED Talk, and we can't afford kids. And heck, our offsprings, they may save the world. Even my mom says, oh, Alessandra, you be such a good mother, and your kids, they be wonderful. They may be wonderful, but they would also be wasteful, because now America uses 32 times the resources of someone from a developing country, so even more important that we have smaller families. For example, someone in the United States on average use 176 gallons of water a day, compared to the average person from Africa who only use 5 gallons a day. And it's not just vis-a-vis poor countries either. We here in the United States use dry energy as someone from France or English or Japan. So yeah, there are a lot of countries that have higher facility than we do here in the United States, but we all have to aspire to a one-child family, especially on those of us living here. Maybe you are thinking, well, don't worry, Alexander, technology will save us. Yes, it's possible that we may be able to add a few years resources because of someone new expansion or technologies, but in the end, even if we can fit in how 14 billion people, what would the life be like? The population is going to have to stop growing at some point, so why not to stop now instead of wishing that some invention or technology will save us? That doesn't even exist, we're not even sure it works. So for everyone to have quality of life, the number of humans on earth needs to go down. And I believe that it needs to go down to 2 billion people, which sounds radical because there's 7 billion people on the planet today, and it's actually the world population at just 80 years ago. So let's change your idea of what the ideal family looks like. One is a beautiful number. And let's not be afraid to talk about population, because it's not about taking rights away from people. It's about giving opportunity to women, children, and future generations. And lastly, let's be a part of the solution and choose from now on to bring forth no more than one child ourselves. Thank you.